then you got to show up to play against the big boys. And Navi had certainly checked box number one. They've been a bit more consistent than we've seen from them in the past. They don't necessarily have too many of those. There was a setback against Effect not that long ago before the roster change. I forget where that fell exactly. But anyway, bar that, they've been fairly consistent. The thing that we've not seen from them is the showing up against the top teams. The one series this year where I really said I think Navi might be back was the victory against NOOB at Dream League. And I thought that was the first time we've in a while where we've really seen Navi show up to play against a exposed against the better team. So this is step one for them. They need to get this win, but I'm really looking at what they can do to come playoff time as well.
Considering this is a best of one, some extra information here that might prove crucial, who knows. Coin toss was won by Infamous, and they chose first pick.
Yeah.
So
again, the usual first pick.
I guess it's not really that surprising that it's not different from what we normally see. But in a best of one, that's always some extra bit of information
Well, the other tidbit of information is that Infamous has opened Sand King in 8 out of their last 11 drafts, and in the 3 that they didn't, it was all 3 cases because Tiny was on the board and they took it. Tiny is banned by Navi, so you think that when we talk about Schofield, that's his most played hero at the 4 position. Highly likely that Infamous's 2-hero open here will feature the Sand King.
No.
Oh no, they banned the Sand King as well. Very nice. Okay, very nice.
Someone's been doing their homework.
Yeah, very nice. There you go.
Is there any, considering this is the best one, is there any heroes that you should be really worried about getting cheesed? Because both teams are not too big on the Brute. Both teams are not too big on, Meepo Hero or something like that.
I guess. He has been like a fairly common 5th pick. It doesn't happen all the time, but it seemed like at least 3 games somebody last pick Brood. But in terms of like Huskar or Drow strats, those are super rare right now.
Yeah.
Those are the rare cheese at this point.
I guess the other sort of, it's not really cheese, but I guess the other hero that has that can feel a bit cheesy to me as a 5th pick has been the Medusa lately, where they just don't have anything that. If the other team just doesn't have anything that can deal damage to her as the game goes on, it just feels kind of BS, but you still can attack her in the early game. Beastmaster is a hero that, going into Katowice, I put as one of my top. He has really struggled in this patch. His win rate is way down below 40%.
Wow. I would say he does have some laning troubles right now.
Especially the common denominator.
It could be maybe the beast builds that we're seeing. I mean, they're always maxing axes lately with 2 in the aura. Makes sense for trading against heroes, but if your lane goes bad at all, you can't fall back to the jungle at a fast speed. I'm not saying that the boar build is good right now or anything, but that used to be a bit more of a stable. Like Beastmaster could have more consistent laning. So if you don't creep waves or you don't like contest and win your lane, I feel like the hero has some issues. And Roar is great and all, but past Roar, that's kind of a lot of what the hero does. And there's just so many good late game items that in a lot of ways just do the same thing that Roar does.
No, that's exactly right. That if you look at the 2 players that to me kind of keyed the rise of the Beastmaster recently, Sumail for EG and Universe with the Shadowblade first build for Fnatic have really keyed the rise of that hero. And if you think about it, Beastmaster in this tournament ended up against the lane yesterday against a Terrorblade, where with Terrorblade's big armor, those axes just, the axes in the boar, you're tickling him.
Yep. Does almost nothing.
Right.
All right, we got the Disruptor opening together with the Omni Knight. Bit of a... I don't know, I would say the opening from Navi is a little bit stronger than that, a little bit more fight heavy. Is that something that...
It's easy to... I agree with you. I feel like it's easy to look at Navi's draft and just feel more confidence, at least for me. Because I just look at like stuns, damage, and it's like Omni Disruptor. How do those heroes combo?
I mean, you can save people, but who are you going to save?
That's true.
Well, and we also know, like, we know the Navi players on these particular heroes can perform. We know the General Beastmaster is really good. We know that either Dendi or probably Crystallized
or any top
is going to play. Yeah, he's going to play the Gyrocopter.
Radiant team ban.
I mean, it does give them good lane possibilities, though. I feel like you could even lane in a 1v1 against Beast if you really wanted to.
So for whatever the small sample size theater is worth, The last 5 times Navi's picked Gyro have all been crystallized in their own 5.
Remaining.
Crystallized was a beast
really
yesterday, by the way. We've not obviously they lost. It's in the winners bracket, in the winners bracket they lost. That's why they're here. But I would say a standout player for me for Navi for this tournament has been Crystallized. He's been doing real well.
And I think you, going on that point, I think you can tell that, and I think you can tell how much respect he is getting by other teams by just the amount of resources that EG put into crapping on his Tiny. Like, I mean, EG was basically like, that's their entire game plan in the first game of that series. We're going to take away this crystallized Tiny and make the other 4 people beat us.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Navi, that worked. But they have another shot here. Let's see. Infamous, they've banned out the Bane. I mean, we know it's very easy, I guess, to look at Navi's lineup and just remove some of the support that you know LeBron and Lil are going to be comfortable on. That's exactly what they do. The IO and the Bane. Gone. Rubik, IO, Bane. 3 supports banned out. What kind of supports are we looking for Navi here? Which good ones are still in the pool?
Aggressive stuff, most likely.
10 seconds remaining.
Both of those heroes win lanes, the IO and the Bane, but they also can help do global game presence kind of a thing. I feel like an Invoker could be good on Navi's draft as well. That was something Fnatic did really successfully at Katowice. With their Beastmaster game and the fast Shadow Blade, it really helped to make his early ganks better, despite not going for a relatively early Necro. He just went Shadow Blade and rushed and got kills.
Yeah, that was a really cool game. They had multiple early Shadow Blades and really just set up the Sunstrikes all across the map. But I think Shiva's right in that this is the first order question for Navi is now locking down that support duo. Pretty much all of their most played supports are off the table. You expect maybe the Witch Doctor here?
Witch Doctor, Shadow Shaman are the 2 most common ones that are still in the pool.
Oh,
that is,
man.
Who cares about supports? That is our first Doom of the tournament.
This is interesting because now you look at this and one of the 2, either the Doom or the Beastmaster, is probably going to be played in the support role, in the 4 role, and I wonder
it's not going to be Beastmaster.
Nah, it's going to be
Chinese team. So
really? Yeah. Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, what skill build?
I don't remember what build they go. I think they're
do they skip Aura or something?
Yeah. Okay. I think so.
Okay,
that's a good question. I should look at that.
Skipping Aura that sounds okay, possible. Or go like 1-3-1 or something.
But it will probably still be a Lil Doom.
Yes, I feel like I just saw him play this.
I think that's right.
Last tournament, Low played it, and he did really well. Doom is very good at just guaranteeing a team fight win if they have vision of their opponents, which they do with Beastmaster. Doubling Doom on Omni Knight kind of guarantees a team fight win. And,
how active can a Doom be? Early on.
Pretty active. I think one of the biggest changes was that a lot of the creeps that you eat have reduced mana costs. So if you grab like the Hellbear Smasher, it's only 50 mana to do a 150 damage nuke around you. The Centaur stun, I think it's 50 mana. Like all the spells are just very low cost right now, so it's very easy actually for Doom to fight early. And he's also pretty good at zoning offlane hero, so he kind of just fits into a lot of different positions here.
Because in the past it would be if you had a Doom as a 4 position, he would have to be in the jungle for like 5 to 6 minutes before he could actually do something.
You
I guess
absolutely don't have to do that. Like people just delay Devour sometimes. Like one game I saw a logo like
Scorched Earth?
Infernal Blade and Scorched Earth.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because the other thing that hurt Doom in like the offlane role is the pushback of the creep spawn from 30 seconds to a minute, because it's harder to eat a creep and still beat lane in one time now. But for the support Doom, that really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, there's no creeps anymore, so it doesn't even not even a big deal.
There's a Viper coming out for Infamous.
Yeah, support or offlane Doom is just not. It's a little bit fragile against a lot of matchups, so I think it works a little better as a support. I think, but it also is core possible if you got a good matchup.
I'll go on record. I think I'm the only person that feels this way, but I actually still like the potential of Doom in the 3 role. But again, that's not a commonly held belief.
I don't think it's too weird. The one game they picked it was against a Terrorblade safe lane, which was a good situation. Lots of magic damage to deal in the laning stage. You can actually threaten him, and then when you get Doom online later, it just depends on the matchup. There's so many carries that are just going to eat through his low armor and relatively crap harass until he gets like level 2 or gets in melee range. Like a lot of heroes would just eat him.
Perch, if you got to choose one of these 2 lineups to play, Why would it? Well, which one would you choose, and why would it not be Infamous?
Well, I mean, Infamous is potentially what they're very good at right now is taking a fight and barely surviving and forcing Navi to stay.
Okay.
So they need to basically take a fight with Viper in the front where he gets focused, and then Omnia heals and backs him up. And in the meantime, Disruptor maybe drops an ulti on 6 heroes if possible, and Tusk ideally ice shards them and blocks them off. And like those are the kinds of ways that they can turn this around. There's a lot of turn potential on Infamous's draft. I certainly agree that their range disable is weak, their setup is weak. It's pretty much like Tusk or Glimpse combos.
Yeah, what I don't see to set up for the Viper yet is I don't see any spread damage, because with Viper, you really want somebody else on your team that's going to be able to get the enemy team on low HP. And
that's very true.
Right now, those first 3 heroes of Infamous are not adept at getting anybody on the enemy team low HP.
Yeah, not rapidly at least. They have almost no burst at the moment.
10 seconds remaining.
It really hurt things.
So you really almost need this pick to be something like an SF or...
For Navi, are we talking about?
For Infamous.
For Infamous.
Isn't the Viper's their hero they have a good win rate on, right?
Yeah, Pepita's 6-1 on the Viper, but... Okay, Morph. All right. I mean, it makes sense, but again, there's going to be a lot of pressure, I think, on the Tusk roaming around trying to stabilize the lanes. The Morph, the Viper's going to be okay by himself. The Omni should be okay by himself. The Disruptor will be protecting the Morph lane, and it's going to be up to the Tusk to kind of put him over the edge.
I don't even think Omni's going to have a good time. He's against a Witch Doctor, so they've got to deal with Maledict, and Doom is pretty competent at zoning him. So and they go for a Void.
Crystallized Faceless Void, and you don't have the classic like Chronosphere combo here necessarily, although the Gyro Call Down is of course something.
Witch Doctor.
Witch Doctor Ward, that's fine. I mean, Crystallized is just really, really good on this hero.
And I feel like they can get away with the greed of having a carry Void just because their opponent's draft doesn't necessarily do anything super strong. And either way, they're dealing with like a Viper that has to force fights on him kind of, and they have to back him up, and just feels like it's going to be very difficult. But Infamous does have lane winner heroes. That's definitely guaranteed that they get to play around with, and that could be what they need to push them into an advantage, and then maybe snowball it.
All right.
Maybe that's their plan.
Snowball it, huh?
Yeah, with the toss indeed. We have a focus once again on the laning stage. It is Infamous that is the one to be looked at here, because they are the underdog, and they need to just put the foot in the pedal right now to make it through. Let's find out if they can with ODPixel and Fog.
Thank you very much, Steve. And yeah, best of one time. It's all very exciting. Navi versus Infamous. There's going to be a lot of battling, a lot of brawling. I'm ODPixel. I'm here with Fogged. We've just seen the 2 lineups, finishing off with a Void, finishing off with a Morphling over on the side of Infamous. What do you reckon about that?
I kind of like the Morphling, to be honest. I think it gives them a different target that they actually have to doom, because before the problem was that Lil, it's just like, I just have to doom Omni Knight. Now it gets a little split. Now it's like, I can doom Omni, but I kind of also have to doom the Morphling in some of these situations. So I kind of do like that one. And also there's the interaction, of course, versus the Gyrocopter. Getting flat cannon in the midst of the fights when you replicate can be very nice for that AoE damage. But I think overall, I think Infamous wants to play at a bit of a fast-paced here, and they want to try to abuse the long cooldowns of Navi, because I think Navi is very, very ulti reliant on this game. Doom and Chronosphere, they really need to be able to take the fights. That being said, though, it's really going to be up to if this Morphling can get free farm, if they can make all the space in the world with this Viper and this Omni and the support.
Yeah, I think, as you say, eyes are going to be on the Morph. We did see earlier, Minos, or Tara Hayama, as you want to call him. He really went off this morning. He had some very, very strong games.
He did.
As he was able to really be quite a threat against RRQ. Obviously, as we've been mentioning, against Navi, it is going to be quite a lot more difficult, but we'll see what Infamous can do in an attempt to put a bit of a dent into the CIS lineup that has been on the up and up as of late. Navi stronger and stronger, and obviously with the more recent change, having Lil now in the lineup. We saw Lil yesterday, in fact, have some very good performances.
He did, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with the Doom, because this is something we've always said about Lil, right? He plays like this, he plays a massive amount of heroes. He's just very hard to predict what he's really going to play from game to game. Me and you were really silently hoping for a Huskar.
I was hoping for an Infamous Huskar,
but yeah, they did go for the Morph, which I think this is a little bit more exciting. Sure, Huskar can sometimes just be like, oh, what's up?
No, absolutely, especially if we see some clutch plays come out in terms of the mob. As you said already, there's obviously the gyro that's going to be very nice to sort of take hold of in these team fights. And I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of heroes. Having the extra sort of time walk as well. Yeah, lots of things that he can play around with here.
He does have a good chunk of things. Like even like this, I mean, if you can go into the Doom, Scorched Earth plus Infernal Blade, there's a lot of different ones. The gyro is definitely the main one, though.
Yeah.
I think you can even use the axes, right, too. You turn to Beastmaster, you put out a Hawk, you use axes, and your damage is more, too. So he does have ways that he can play around.
Yeah, I'd imagine that should work. Yeah.
Gyro is definitely the preferred. And Infamous, they will be doing an aggro tri-lane, and Navi is dodging, because they have a very weak tri-lane at the moment with the Witch Doctor, Doom, and Void. It's not the greatest.
Oh, yeah. You want to keep Crystallize away from any sort of early fighting that Infamous are going to be hungry for. We'll see if Infamous change or react to this lane dodge that Navi have managed to succeed with.
I like the lanes for Infamous this time around. Having like the Omni Knight be able to get something for sure. And they're going to be able to pressure General quite a lot down here.
Yeah, straight in with the shards. A few punches with the Thunderstrike out as well. Be able to get him down to half health, keep him at a bit of a bay, and make sure that the space is there for Minos to farm away on Morphling. Top lane, as you say, Singer, we're going to be able to see him sort of get involved, but in terms of actually slowing down Crystallize's farm, the back of the Doom it's going to be kind of hard for the Omni to do so. I imagine what we're going to see sort of just a flat trade in CS on this top lane.
I mean, I think Void will farm a bit more than the Omni.
Yeah, okay.
The Omni should still get a decent amount of last hits. The mid one's going to be the interesting one, because Viper has a great matchup versus the Gyro, so LeBron actually has to just stay there. Skullfield already is making the rotation toward mid as is Tusk.
Deadly. Pretty low at the moment. Paladins will be popped out onto Pepita, but they're just going to run down Dendi here. Dendi, I think that's going to be your first blood, and it is indeed Infamous getting first blood. As it seems, Navi just were not prepared at all for that Tusk to just walk in from Navi's own high ground.
Yeah, before this series actually, before this best of one started, I was gonna say that it's actually like the Lil versus Schofield for me, because I feel like these two guys are gonna have to have heavy impact on the games even before I saw the heroes picked up.
I mean, because of course, as we always say, we have seen in the past, Schofield's performances sort of single-handedly step Infamous up to the point where they have been threatening some of the top-tier teams in Dota 2. So
yeah, I mean, everyone always thinks of like that game versus Liquid, where Schofield went on their spur, just went absolutely crazy.
So definitely one of the heroes in these early laning stages that Navi have got to be very clued up about his whereabouts and make sure they don't get caught out by these sort of movements. He's going to hang around mid, sort of continue to match up the pairing of this LeBron Witch Doctor, make sure that space is there for the Viper to get that farm. At the moment, CS just sort of like both heroes in their mid laners. Too fancy them, too high, 5 for 5, 4 for 5. Bottom lane, just run down. Got the kinetic field to hold back General, but there's the route from them. Comes in with a rotation, they'll be able to surround him, and they'll cut him down. At the same time, though, back towards the mid, Pepita and Schofield once again getting on top of Dendi, taking down that Gyrocopter, and as it seems, LeBron Witch Doctor just unable to really stop this duo of killing the Gyro.
Yeah, Pepita's sacrificing some last hits because they're just going for straight kills. He's just like strictly harassing, but it's absolutely worth it, getting those kills. And the biggest thing is when you have a Morphling on your team and you're securing that Morph free farm, it's absolutely perfect. And quick smoke coming up from Infamous. They want to try to get another kill here. Lil showing his face. This could be it.
There we go. Snowball to lead in. They're ready to surround him. Kinetic field's down. Lil goes for the TP attack, but he's not going to make it. The burst too high from the Morphling as Minos comes in for the finisher. 3 for 1, Infamous.
Yeah, and then putting all this pressure has forced the Doom to kind of move around, which gives Stinger now the 1v1, which is advantageous for the Omni Knight. So great moves coming out from Infamous in these first 4 minutes, already claiming themselves a 1k gold lead before the 4 minutes.
Quite a stat there that Crystallizes Void. Very, very strong win rate. And with those wins as well, the Navi's Crystallized Void against some of the bigger teams in Dota, the victories over EG, VP, and LGD. And they have to keep eyes on how this Void has an impact this game. And as you say, he's getting the same amount of farm as the Omni. Sure, the Omni's a little ahead, but Omni at the moment unable to really bully him out, even though he has been left alone on this Void. He got the early few levels and such, so he can hold his own in terms of being able to hit the creeps and not worrying about putting himself in too much danger in this 1v.
Yeah. Dendy's starting to catch back up mid. They're heavily prioritizing defending him too. They've placed actually 2 wards to make sure that they can't
Schofield straight for the tree, snowballs in, and we'll be back up. Lil moving in, the paralyzing cast bounces as well, holding back from Peter and Schofield. Schofield, he tries for Dendy. Dendy pops the sour. Will it be enough to keep him alive? It won't. The rocket barrage damage just too low. Cannot kill Schofield before he finishes off Dendy. It's a 2-for-1 at the moment, favoring Infamous. Schofield trying to get himself all back. The sigil slowing down Lil. Schofield will be fine.
That was so smart by the Tusk. Like Schofield gets the level up, pops the sigil instantly. That actually saves his life there to walk away.
Make sure that
the sacrifice.
Infamous again, get a favourable trade. 2-4.
And they get the bottom, the Morphin gets to kill on the Beastmaster again. So Minos having absolute full free farm.
Better than a poultice.
Obviously, as you mentioned at the start, for Na'Vi, their lineup is more oriented around getting the big team fight together. They're going to be working around the chrono, the cooldowns, the roars. And we'll see how things sort of switch up for them when they start to make moves as a unit. But it seems in terms of the lane matchups, you said at the start, you said you liked what Infamous was doing with the lanes, and we're certainly seeing that work out so far in these first 5 minutes or so.
Na'Vi now trying to punch back. They are smoked up, trying to punish Pepita. And get a haste rune to close the gap. Yeah, there's a Centaur stop. But Schofield is in the area. He seems like he knows. Look at his positioning, just ready to break the smoke. Even the Disruptor has rotated over.
Also have the Omni Knight quite close.
Yeah, even Stinger, he ports in to the shrine.
He is prepared for this fight. Obviously, it's all spotted out by Navi's ward, so they know exactly what's coming in onto that.
They're bringing 4 heroes mid right now to collapse on the side of Infamous versus Dendy.
Yeah, this wraparound from the Disruptor. Again, the wards from Navi should be aware of this, but still that's going to be caught. TV's opening for Navi, but Dendy is already fallen. LeBron as well, dropping low. They should be able to finish off a second, and they do. LeBron goes down. Infamous find 2 kills. Now they turn towards Lil. They're looking for another. At the same time, Minos, he finished off General again in that bottom lane. So across the map, Infamous just getting kill after kill, 4 kills in quick succession there during that last minute of gameplay, and 9 for 2. Great. I mean, the biggest thing is this Morphle, he's getting out of hand.
Yeah, he's getting out of
absolute free farm and solo kills.
And the map rate there by Infamous was excellent. Having this bottom ward, they're like, okay, no one's helping Beastmaster, no one's helping Void, no one's helping Void. The supports are off the map, so they know they're trying to make a play on Pepita, because killing the Morphling at this point is impossible, and killing the Omni Knight is also impossible. So the only logical play is to try to go for the Viper, and then Excel saves the Glimpse, glimpses the Void out as soon as he TPs to try to counter with the Chrono, and they just, clear 4 heroes off the map that quickly.
I'm going to see Navi try and react to this movement from Infamous. Lil and LeBron leading the way. They'll turn towards Schofield, setting him up. Have got the balance on the point, but he's still got the snowball to buy some time. And backup's in for Infamous. Let's just close the gap with the snowball straight to LeBron. Bring in Minos in for the action. LeBron will turn, try and punch back, but he's going to get melted. The quick zap from the adaptive stroke. Minos will find the kill. 10 for 2.
This is a very, almost perfect early game by Infamous with all their movements.
It really is. This is, I mean, as we said earlier, Infamous, they did perform very well. It was always going to be questionable if they could sort of keep it up against a team like Na'Vi, and this opening 8 minutes certainly seems to be a big fat yes so far. Bottom lane, quick waveform away as they look to disengage. Na'Vi coming forward. It was Lil on the manner, and so it's Lil. Will get the wraparound. The axes around. Schofield pops the stick charges. Will keep himself alive. Axel won't be quite as fortunate. They get the disruptor Na'Vi, but look at this. Minos, he was going to find some return kills, getting the zap out onto Lil. That's another kill for the Morphling. On the side of the General, he's going to get caught out. The Shark blocking him in here, allowing Minos to just punch him from the sideline. Crystallized turns up. Chrono's out. They've caught this guy. They'll try and roll in, pick him up, and that ain't going to work. Schofield. As Schofield will fall as well. Na'Vi able to strike back there. Crystallized Void. As we said, this is the big game winner. He's got a great win rate, a great track record with his heroes. These sort of rotations are what proves that. He comes in, and that is the dream kill for Na'Vi to get.
He was very patient too. He sat there for a good 5 seconds or 6 seconds, hiding behind a tree before he jumped in. Because he has to get the chrono before the attribute shift starts. Because if the attribute shift starts, they don't get that kill by any means.
And we saw these areas, I believe that would have worked in the past, right? You used to be able to snowball and grab someone, but you can't indeed do that anymore. Schofield, just in case his teammate doesn't read the patch notes and he gets flamed, he has to show that he put the effort. Harvey able to hit back a bit and crystallize, of course, second highest on the net worth. Still only 500 gold or so between himself and the Morph, so this boy very much in it. He did get that lane at the start, which was helped out by Lil. Even when left with 1v1, Crystallize was still able to farm okay, but the movement from Infamous comes in. They shift it towards the top lane, Old Stinger, and Minos putting some pressure onto the tier 1 of Na'Vi.
Yeah, like we said though, it is a very, very ulti-reliant lineup on the side of Na'Vi in comparison to Infamous. Sure, Infamous, they have some that are very useful, but Na'Vi needs Chronos here. They need Doom to really go for those type of plays. We've got Roar online now too. They could look for getting some like small pickoffs.
Crystallize. Looking around on this bottom, poised quite pensively here, but as you say, without the chrono, hard to make things happen. Sure, if he gets on top of the disrupt, he gets a few bashes, can still pick off the supports. Bottom lane, Schofield. He's got an invis really picked up. He's looking to close the gap up to Jack. The shards block him down. They will tell the Roar onto the Morphling Lil. Well, it's only a Infernal Blade onto Schofield, and the TP's now come through. Repel out into Minos. Straight back in. In fact, LeBron, he's one in trouble. Paralyzing cast will save him, though. The bounces between the Morph and the Omni Knight hold them back. Infamous, getting Minos out of there. There'll be a snowball pass onto Lil. Lil pulls stick charges, will keep himself alive. Infamous actually focusing General instead. They want the Beast Path to kill, they'll get it, and at the same time, Lil does get finished off as Minos on the Morph comes in with a wraparound. Infamous will be able to claim both kills, get the pressure onto the tower, and as you say, as it seems for Na'Vi, when they don't have the big ults, it just seems a little bit flustered. They know themselves. They can't really do anything. It's very hard for them to form a defense against heroes like this Morphling, who's ready to zip in and zap in every 10 seconds.
Yeah, excellent pace of the game coming out from Infamous. Navi's gonna, I mean, they really need this Doom to get level 6 ASAP for them to actually have kill threat without Chronosphere. And he's only level 4 at 11 minutes. The same, LeBron has now hit 5, but he's got the Tome of Knowledge. It looks like he wants to pass that to Lil.
I like this as well.
Oh, Lil's just shy of 6 though.
Just shy. They've got the Chrono back up though. And he has got the Mask of Madness picked up, so certainly stepping up his fighting potential at this stage of the game. He can get those extra punches through. And they find with this Chrono.
Lil really wants the sap experience. You see him sitting in mid since he's just a hair away from that level 6.
But the movement, as it seems from Na'Vi, is going to be off the mark. They're sending Crystallize up towards the top lane through the jungle, whereas the side of Infamous, they're actually making a rotation themselves. They're heading down towards bottom. Maybe looking to see if they can catch anyone out behind that tier 1 tower as Minos on the Morphing does push in on the bottom lane. Not going to be the case. Na'Vi still eyeing up that Viper in the mid lane. You know, the Viper wouldn't be too terrible, but at the same time, diving the tower could provide time for Infamous to react.
Both teams did like a bit of a smoke movement there with, and they placed wards. That was the big thing. So they warded watch Ancients on the side of Infamous and the deep rotations towards bottom, while on the other side, it's actually pretty similar wards coming out from Na'Vi. Just watching any movements toward those safe lane towers. Very early Lincoln's going to be coming out for Minos. He's just about 1,200 away from it. That's going to make it a lot harder for Navi to get those type of pickoffs with the Doom and with the Beastmaster.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
In terms of sort of spells to break the Lincolns that answer the big ults, it's not great. Cast can only miss on the ways to do it.
So you have to get like a net creep or something, like anything like that to be able to break it.
On top lane, Navi will be able to push forward. Mask of Man is popped by Crystallize. He's got that punch, that attack speed to take it down, but down on the bottom lane.
Dire's
Two ashes coming in. Lil and Bron down here. Quite aggressively. Quickly cuts down the Hawk with the adaptive strike.
And they saw Lil. They have this ward there here too. Schofield's now making a kind of rotation down, but he's a little afraid of the Shrine reaction now. He backs up toward his teammates.
Shots are tempted. Won't get the block off, but they're still going to try and commit with the snowball. Static Storm is down off the Doom. The Minos there for the sideline. Zips across to take down Lil. Now returns to the Schofield, he will fall as well. Na'Vi have played 2 in response to losing Lil. GA now comes out from Stinger. Infamous still trying to fight this. They surround Deadly. Deadly will fall. Infamous getting themselves a second kill in response with a cast bounty between Stinger and Peter. The purification comes down in time after the fight, but Peter does manage to finish on the third. But it costs him his life. 3 for 3, 4 for 3. Na'Vi will come out on top as Crystallize is able to clean up again. Another successful fight for Na'Vi. Only just though, of course, as we saw Na'Vi themselves lose 3 heroes But we're seeing Crystallize survive. He makes it out on top. He gets these crucial chronos that Na'Vi need to secure each team fight. And his game still looks to be a perfect one. Him and Minos, neck and neck on net worth. These two cores are carrying both teams on the back of them. And it's going to be very exciting to see who can come out on top in the long run. As Crystallize will go straight for the Shadow Blade after the Mask of Madness. Just because of how important, as we're seeing, it is for him to find these perfect chronos.
Yeah, they got the roar on the Morphling before he got the shift, and then the Chronosphere came out on top there. But it was also, this was a bit of a concern that I was talking about for Infamous, is diving a little bit too far, right? If they were trying to get the shard trap on Lil, then the snowball takes them into a kind of an awkward area. They're actually very lucky that the shrine wasn't available, because that, I think, would have made it maybe even like an even worse team fight for them. But all of Na'Vi quick to respond.
Of course, in terms of net worth, Dendi feels certainly struggling on his gyro.
Yes.
A few engagements that we've seen, he turns up and he does get prioritized by Infamous. Of course, at this stage of the game where you're a gyro without, well, he's got the drums now, but before so very, very susceptible to being bursted down by heroes on Infamous's lineup.
Lincoln's is finished, coming out on the courier. There's a big timing here for Infamous, and there's no Chronosphere available for 20 seconds, so trying to take advantage of that. Navi's got book 1 on General as well. It's going to be book 2 in a moment. So that'll be at least nice for them to be able to close down targets so they are a little bit lacking on damage, as we've seen.
As you say, Infamous, they have to keep track of the chrono cooldown. 5 seconds in itself, and Shadow Blade's there as well. General already kicking off the fight, goes with the roar. Repel comes out to Schofield. Will run himself away. Crystallize comes in, and he has the chrono. Back up, ready to go. Catches R3. They'll take down Schofield, they'll take down Minos, and they'll probably get Stinger as well. Time dilation slow comes into play. Crystallize jumps forward. Axel is going to try his best to run away, but you know Crystallize wants to come in. Smart TP though, sticks on the high ground, so Crystallize will not get the vision straight away as he goes across. But again, as I say, they have to be so aware of this chrono cooldown, because you know that Crystallize, every time it's there, he's instantly going to look to find. Obviously, to give Infamous a bit of credit, the Shadow Blade pickup certainly would have caught them out, but you have to be prepared for anything. This is Crystallize faces for you.
I think they have to start, like, Excel has to really prioritize getting the static storm on top of him there, because I think he threw it on like the left side there, like a Witch Doctor. He needs to have that static storm on the Void in every single situation, because otherwise Morph just dies. Like, the Doom was blocked by the Lincolns, but it doesn't matter if you just get Chrono. I don't think Minos is too happy about all that. He's actually queued up on Midas. That's a very Kotaro Hayama thing.
Is that a thing to do?
They even say he's a bit of a... And here we go, the gyro bridge.
Some fantastic classic dogfights in the air between Na'Vi and Infamous. And Minos, he's going to get Schofield dead to seal the deal. LeBron as well. He's going to be in trouble for trying to come forward and help his fellow teammate as he'll hide in the jungle. Most certainly come a hunting. Doctor now double kill for Minos. He's getting close to that Midas recipe goal. There we go. He's changed it, yeah. He's changed.
They always say he's a payaso in Spanish, so he's a clown.
Excuse me.
Oh, come on.
No rude words.
It's not a bad word. It's a fine word.
Top lane Crystallize.
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
You've got to be worried about it if you're Infamous.
Dyer's structures are
Chrono's back up. Got to be aware of this one. Crystallize as well. Closing in on the BKB. Halfway.
Dyer's top tower
He's about halfway through it.
I really like Stinger's item build this time around. He's going for that Midas, being greedy, going for Yules to protect himself, and versus that time dilation that can be pretty annoying, and then going for the Aghanims, because the Gyrocopter in the Void, you can negate the majority of the damage. Is actually, looking at Navi's draft, they have like no magical. It's like Gyrocopter early on, the Flak and, or the Barrage as well as the cooldown, but later on, majority going to be physical damage coming out from them. So Blink finished up on General. He's got better ways to get into the back line to the fight and find the Disruptor to the Omni Knight. LeBron's been doing a great job at de-warding too. I think that's like the third or fourth one I've seen him take out in their jungle.
See this, watch that.
Let me see it, let's try it out. Did you get it?
Oh, look at that.
Ward's destroyed.
Ward's destroyed.
There you go. What? Nice. Nice one.
Bang. Production value here, GSC, ladies and gentlemen.
Infamous all starting to group up now. Chronosphere is available. for NAVI. This is their big time to shine. However, all of Infamous is together. They do seem aware that NAVI is trying to make a move.
Teams very much prepared for this. Infamous. See how they react once again to this time. The light says the chrono. Ready to commit.
Man, I didn't realize how Lil's just been secretly farming like a madman. Look at his net worth. He's ahead of Dendy and tied with Jet. And he's got the medallion too. Nice sneaky roll.
I don't think Infamous is going to suspect this at all. There's no reason.
Oh, they throw a scan.
I mean, they're heading over, but I think this rush is already gone. NAVI. They've got away with it. They get in. They get the rush. They get the Aegis onto Dendy. And the shots will slow down a little bit, but they'll get back out. Very quick heads-up play for NAVI. This game, 20 minutes in, it's a close one for sure. 19-12, sure, the lead in kills is there for Infamous, but it's only less than a 1k difference with that Roshan now going towards NAVI. So
yeah.
And that's an incredibly close game.
That's with how far. I mean, Lil's got more gold than both of the supports combined on Infamous. But Dendy's absolutely struggling though. Still
Radiant's
bottom 4 net worth on this
is under attack.
1 and 6.
Dire's middle tower.
Well, they have given him the Aegis. So now Infamous, of course, they don't really need to completely wait out the Aegis. They probably don't want to take a head on 5v5, but they're going to wait for the Ethereal Blade to be finished on Minos, because then they can get quick, easy pickoffs. They do have an idea of where NAVI is because of this ward that they have down bottom.
The thing is as well, surely if you're NAVI, you are more than fine if the game sort of hits a passive pace, because as the game goes on, you are going to have this sort of gyro basis for a duo, sort of very strong late game carries, whereas Infamous, it's going to be a lot of weight on Minos. It's morphling as the game goes on, as the rest of his cores will fall off in terms of sort of damage output. In comparison to heroes like the Void and Gyro, once they get sort of those late game heavy pickups.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also, you always versus like a Doom and Void, playing versus those two heroes later on, like late stage, the games just become crazy.
Yeah, they're also just so game winning in the right situations.
So with this Aegis, NAVI's going to claim themselves quite a lot of map control here and probably close this gold advantage to 0.
Is under attack.
Infamous just trying to get this Ethereal Blade online. They've now got it finished for Minos. So you get quick, easy pickoffs in the back lines.
Dire's bottom tower.
And Crystallize is about to have BKB. They're going to have a very hard time actually bringing down this Void now. Because in theory, you know, the Disruptive Static Storm is a very good spell versus Void, but he hasn't gotten the opportunity to actually find Crystallize. Crystallize is definitely playing incredibly well this game, as he needs to.
As we expect to put the stats in, but not wrong. In lane, quick burst. Take the Aegis out of the hands of Dendy. Time, down towards point. Managed to get the stats. General just trying to help out. Just gets dropped down. Trying to get the kill return with the dead ward. They're going to get close to it, and they do. They manage to get the Omni return for losing their beast, but the Crystallize comes in with the Chrono onto 2. They've got the Disruptor, but the burst is too high. Minos is the carry coming out on top. Real dispatch of this Crystallized Void. Now they turn towards Lil. They're going to get the Doom as well.
And he flags the whole entire Ancient.
Oh, that's smart.
The dream.
Value falling and value flat. Be careful, sir. He's falling a little low. But, I mean, this really is a game where it is the battle between Minos and Crystallize, and that was Minos coming out way on top, bursting down Crystallize.
And he killed Dendy before the fight started, and to clear the Aegis, so Dendy comes to the fight late, so he steals the flak as well, so he has flak for the later on stage. That was very well played by the Morphling.
Let's certainly look at the difference between Minos and Void between those kills. I think we're seeing it there, you know, the changes, sort of the individual value of killing off the big cores as he did there, in terms of obviously just killing Crystallize in particular. Really offsets the two cores in terms of overall net worth now, as Minos racing ahead, level 17. Very close to that 18.
I mean, this is a very good Morphling game, too. Yeah. They have means to catch him, but with this early Lincoln Sphere Ray picked up, and he's got an Omni Knight on his team. It'll make it much easier for him. And Lil
try and go for the control. They have got the glimpse back, won't quite be back into the vehicle. Looks like it doesn't matter. They surround him, they punch him down, they'll take him out. It's got second set up down bottom. The burst comes through. Crystallize will be there along with General. They're trying to bring their guys in response for losing their Witch Doctor. He is very, very low and it will be beaten down. Slowly but surely, the two of them get him. The damage output with the Mask of Madness, having the Necro units as well, enough to just drain that Morphling right down.
He was literally mid-animation of doing the waveform and then added up. Infamous trying to punch back, trying to find something here. General's got Blink, blinks away.
Where's my pension?
And we'll be just fine.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It really is a close one, no doubt about it. And as we sort of would hope to see in these best of ones,
Dire's top
both teams really finding it at it tooth and nail.
It really is just like the Crystallize versus Minos a lot of the time.
And as we see, it really does. It goes both ways. If they get some sort of disable onto Crystallize and burst him with Minos before he gets the BKB off, the burst damage is enough at this stage to take him out. But at the same time, Crystallize is able to lay down a Chrono onto Minos. There's not a lot that Morphling can do about it.
Yeah, they're gonna have the Omni Aghanim soon too, so we always have Guardian Angel for those situations.
I mean, that certainly makes Crystallize's life a lot harder.
Yeah, I mean, they will. If General is there though, they can always purge it off with the book. That's the one very nice thing that they can have. And it looks like he's actually going to be going for a nullifier next on Crystal.
I mean, that's another perfect answer to playing against this Axe GA that's going to be there soon.
Yep.
And, all in all, a very, very nice item for Void, because now Crystallize can look to sort of get the kills without having to worry about having the Chronosphere at the ready. So just that chase down potential. Sure that it must have the inability to react with any of their items. Bendy still playing the catch-up game, and to be fair, he's starting to get himself back up in the rank.
Yeah,
back on level with Pepita in farm on that Viper.
Yeah, Navi's been constantly under vision though. Both Infamous has been very, very attentive on keeping the wards up in the enemy jungle to watch the movements. And yeah, Dendi is catching up, but I'm still pretty impressed with Pepita. I mean, Pepita is 7-2, and this is, we saw before, it's like one of his most winning heroes, but he's keeping up as a Viper.
Build-wise, 1,200 gold. He's going to have a full-out AC for the team.
Yeah.
All the little bits adding up in terms of sort of just keeping one another alive in the Chronosphere if they do get caught out.
Now they've got some more catch on the side of Infamous too, so not only relying on this glimpse, which they kind of have been, they have the Blink Dagger now on Schofield.
The armor of omniscience.
Blink on Lil as well. It was picked up a bit earlier, of course, but both force supports have ways to actually get into the fight. Bit of a slowdown. Infamous, knowing that, Navi has Chrono, they have Roar, they've got Doom all available, so taking head-on fights isn't really the most ideal.
Minos looked like he was thinking about going for a quick burst play, but again, a little risky.
Again, the ward's being placed on the left side. They saw all of Navi's rotation, so he gets a little bit scared to go for that. Crystallize.
He's got the Chrono.
Peter's got a play mail artist. He's got like 30 armor on this Viper.
You're not going for this on your own.
And you need to expend the Chrono, and then it's like, oh my god, if I don't get it, like you're in a very difficult spot for the next 2 minutes. So it's definitely not worth trying to go for that. I think that's the Aghanims finished as well now. Aghanims for Omni Knight and Manta Style for the Morphling. Does Navi have anything else big coming out soon?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Don't see anything.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Down towards bottom, finally finish it off. Both teams
close, yeah. 1k gold lead, 2k, not even 2k experience, just neck and neck.
Teams
Dire's
got a dodgy
top
one
tower is under
Navi
attack.
will put the pressure up on top. They don't have Crystallize with them though. No Chrono for this push. Just a bit of a tickle away at the tier 3. Go for the jump. Thrown down off the core of Disruptor. Takes Axel out. Interesting there, I can see Pepita. Highest average kills in 10 minutes in the entirety of this GSC land.
He did have that one Razor game where he just popped off, right? He had like 14 kills or something in the first 20, or first like 18.
Sorry, cute. I saw that this morning. quite a game for, quite a series for Infamous as a whole. So far as we've been saying, standing there only against NAVI.
I think Infamous might want to have like... I say this, but they do already have wards on the left side, but I think having a ward in their jungle might actually pay off, because Navi's been playing a lot around that area.
Dire are scanning.
I think Crystallized does have now the Nullifier finished, and Dendy's gone for the S and Y, so some stats to tank up. This Nullifier. We've seen the power of what it can do.
The Lister in the pit.
And they've got the AC finish too. They could very quickly. Hawk does scouting.
Ooh, Navi. Are they going to head over? They're trying, but look at the speed it falls. Can he get in there? Jump from the Infamous is going to be get the chrono out. GA now. Crystallized trying to finish off this Morphling, but with the GA up, he can't quite do it. Crystallized will be able to take the cheese, pop it himself, jumps back out with the time. He'll keep himself alive with that stolen cheese. Now they're going to take the edges out of the hands of Minos. The BKB's out from Denny on the front line with the flank. He's doing a lot. The Denny boy's going down to Pepita. General, back for a second go, out with the Roar, with the Mute as well, down, out onto Minos. Minos trying to wait for himself out. There's got the same with the magical damage, he's bringing them down low. Can he really play his way out of this? The Purification comes down to Stinger. Minos into the jar, he's got the flash, he's getting back. Minos is still alive here. Wait forward with the repel as well, but Stinger, they just can't kill him. He's chasing them down as the gyrocopter. There's 3 dead on Navi. Minos is Morphling, turning things around. Those sort of gyromorphs that we were seeing there, absolutely insane as he just kicks out an incredible amount of damage in this fight and keeps himself alive.
I didn't get to see exactly. I know that he roared Ancient there on General, but I think I didn't see if the Lincolns was back up. So I think he was expecting that Lincolns was off cooldown, so he didn't want to get it blocked. So he was just trying to go play the push player. And this big one was by Stinger there. Stinger not being caught inside the fight, getting that Guardian Angel off, getting the heals and repels on Minos was absolutely clutch.
Straight in. That's a tier 3 down. Denny's has to fly back for this one. Makes a shot for the defense. He looks towards Minos. Quick way back. The low back turns for the E-Blade. Then he gets bursted low. What's the BKB? Only just keeping himself alive there. The melee racks are taken. Infamous now with an 8k gold lead and a melee racks up. Minos, he came here to win.
Yeah, they're in a very comfortable spot now. Now they've got Blink Dagger, they've got more positioning items, a lot of luxury gold coin their way because these racks are being brought down.
Is under attack.
Look at the damage dealt by this Morphling. No surprises, really. And as you've been saying as well, sort of the quiet hero behind it, Pepita, getting a lot done in these fights as well. Each and every time, just laying down the nether toxins and such. Pretty annoying, you know. Some of the heroes you don't really necessarily think about a lot, but like the Void, taking away sort of the bash potential and the attack speed aura, there's sort of significant parts of the team fight that Navi do sort of rely on in terms of getting the damage out. If he gets that breakout with the poison, they're not going to be there.
And they have so many things they actually have to focus on the side of Navi. It's like, okay, we really have to focus this Omni Knight and this Morphling, but during all that, yeah, like you're talking about, Pepita's just sitting there wailing on everybody.
Yeah, that AC now very close to having an S and Y. He's going to pull the right click. On the side, they'll necessarily show that Hawk.
Now, I actually think now Minos has he has enough to one-shot Dendy with the ethereal combo.
Oh, absolutely. If that BKB doesn't come out in time, Dendy's dead.
Yep.
It's a lot of agi on this morph. He's still got ways to go in terms of just stepping it up even more. Queuing up the butterfly, of course, next. Ramping it up so that burst, as we say, will just be at the point where it can take down anyone in the lineup of Navi, or at least bring them very, very close to dying.
I'm surprised Stinger's actually not going for Lincolns for himself anyway, because I think in these fights it's been pretty important that he's not getting doomed up, and I think like Lil's been having a bit of trouble actually finding the doom targets. Like in that last one too, I think he doomed the morph as he was pretty much dying, so they really need to Navi needs to be able to get these big ultimates on more crucial targets at better times. Very comfortable now.
Absolutely, certainly the lead that they've managed to amount.
Dire are scanning.
You can really see that drop off there. And net worth for Navi. That last fight, incredibly painful for them with the way that Infamous were playing.
It was split-second things too. Like I was clicking on Crystallize the Void. He had time walk up in like a half a second, pretty much. As soon as he jumps in, it was like if he had it just up a little bit sooner, maybe he could have gotten in. But yeah, I mean, it's just the little things.
Any sort of fight where the chrono doesn't result in a kill, probably going to be a lost fight for Navi. Yeah. As we saw, he jumps in solo chrono onto the Morphling, and he can't kill him. And that is when you start to, big flags are sort of raised in in the area of it, whether Na'Vi can actually get the kills if they don't get the Chrono. And get multiple heroes in. Crystallizer's got to really continue to look for that perfect opportunity. At this stage of the game, one-man Chrono's not going to work.
Yeah. It does feel like it's a bit harder to execute on the side of Na'Vi. Just they have to go to see the backlines. And the thing is that Stinger can play so far away because he's gone for that Aghanim build, so he's always going to be able to get Guardian Angel off in the fights.
Mine is certainly paying off. Yeah. And then a 2.8k towards the refresher. We'll see the difference here between these two. So the kill and assist goal, surprisingly, very, very close between one another.
It's fairly even. It's just like the buildings that the most got into. Yeah, the neutrals and the buildings.
Now the biggest difference is here.
It makes sense. It's not a Battle Fury Void, and it's your versus a Morphling, so there's no way you're going to farm creeps as fast as a Morphling when you're a Void, unless you have that build. So Pepita is also queued up a Nullifier next.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This Viper's level 23. Like this,
it's crazy how much Pepita has found.
The level 25 on Viper is actually pretty crazy. I don't know if I really like the Nether Toxin silences. I actually think that's the better one, but the 120 damage is quite a lot. Especially in this type of game when he's getting kind of ignored. I feel like he could actually start being a big damage dealer in this game.
I mean, absolutely. If you're going for the SNY AC build, you're being the carry yourself in that sense. Yeah. I'm sure we'll definitely see him consider the 120 damage.
The other thing is that the Nether Toxin silence is an 100%. You can silence permanently if the people are stuck in it, of course. But
true, but BKBs are out in the claws.
Exactly.
But you're right. BKBs are going to get. They're going to go down in duration.
I hope he takes the damage. I don't think I've actually seen a Viper take the damage.
No,
I haven't seen many times.
The level 25 Vipers have not been a frequent occurrence. So if anything, I feel like a lot of the Vipers that we've been seeing lately have just been losing. Pepita. Also saying to me beforehand, this is his hero.
This is his hero.
This is the hero that they will get him and take him at any opportunity, and we're seeing why.
They play very comfortable around it, is the thing.
Invisibility.
So there's the gem from Infamous a couple moments ago. So they're just continuing to clear this map control and just accrue more and more of a net worth advantage.
I mean, as well, I'm wondering, I'm looking at Dendy. I know he's got the butterfly queued up. He's got a lot of money. Are we getting close to consider rapier territory for the Gyro?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think this is a game where they can take it in the later stages because they've got Doom and Void. I feel like the Rapier is like the fact that you can just get one-shotted by Morphling is way too scary to have a Rapier.
Okay, you're absolutely right. In a Morphling game, I don't know if Envy would even. Actually, Envy would probably buy this.
They'd have to be a little bit more behind them.
Yes. But as you say, Na'Vi, even though 11k behind, one melee racks down, they've got sort of the Gyro Void combination, which in itself can turn any sort of team fight. Especially, Dendy now with the completed butterfly will now offer quite a punch himself. His bottom lane, Infamous, heading towards the base. They're ready to try and look and set eyes onto a second set of racks here from Na'Vi. We'll see Na'Vi can do the best of stopping them. They've got the Crimson Guard out to the tower, knocking it out against that illusion push. Shadowblade as well, picked up a general, so he's got that extra chance of getting in and finding those crucial setup rolls for the fight. But does have to be aware, of course, that Schofield is walking around with that gem.
Full butterfly now too as well for Minos now, so
that's a lot of agi.
Yeah. He's only at like 307. 300. I'm not doing that.
Do the maths, Fog. Come on. 342.
There you go. Good job. You did it. That's a lot. And his damage is also very similar to that.
Dire are scanning.
Infamous just staying around the bottom area, looking to pick a fight. We found out now Roche is going to be spawning in 30 seconds.
Okay.
That's a huge Roche for both sides. The Refresher Shard on a Void or on Doom or on Omni Knight.
Omni on Infamous is going to sit up on the lane. They managed to catch the ball, but the GX through the Doom didn't nullify it. They tried killing it, but no. They just over their flanks some time. Is it going to be enough to stop? The Doom will persist, and they will be able to take down Minos. Na'Vi looking to turn things around and ready to chase for more. They go straight for Excel here. Dendy with the chase down. The flak hits fly through. Dendy will pick up the double. Pepita gets out just in the nick of time with that TP. But Na'Vi able to strike back hard. And this time, that sort of just heavy solo focus, it'll probably kill pretty much anything in the game. With the Doom, the Chrono, the Nullifier, everything laid down onto Minos.
Yeah.
They can kill that Morphling and get him out of the game, but they have to catch him with that Chrono. Crucial time though, as you were saying, Roshan's up, Na'Vi are in there. This is that refresher shot, Roshan. And Na'Vi, they should. I mean, there's 3 heroes up on Infamous. I mean, Infamous are going to know the importance of doing this. Can they actually stop Na'Vi though? They send the courier in, they protect it so they can get the vision. Now on the side, Lil, he's coming in, he's trying to draw Infamous away from this Roshan. Roshan falling so low, Infamous desperately trying to get in and involved in the pit. They've got the snowball, they're coming in. Na'Vi will get the kill, Dendi will get the engine. Where's the shards and the chooser? That's the big question. Pepita's being focused.
Charged on the ground.
Wait for it.
So Na'Vi
They got everything.
will get everything despite the attempt from Infamous to get involved in the pit. Infamous knew how crucial it was to try and stop Na'Vi from taking it all, but Na'Vi, they get everything as well. They get Stoker, they get Pepita on his Viper.
And the game has completely turned.
That Roshan.
Yeah, the Roshan and just that Chronosphere by Crystallize. Again, 6-1 and 11 on this Void. It seems very hard for Infamous to actually take fights now into this. Every time that there's a Chronosphere available, all they really have to do is grab the Morphling and get a 2-1.
And here we have Minos. First is Minos, focusing a second. He comes out from Crystallize, comes out the Chrono. The Viper comes out from the Pepita. The Doom's down onto this Minos. He's going to go down. He does not have buyback. The Morphling's out for 90 seconds. Na'Vi chasing up to the high ground, turning towards Pepita. He's got to put down. The snowball comes out from Skoko. Buying some time for Pepita to stay alive. And now he can turn. Looks towards Lil. Lil will fall on the Doom. The Aegis is popped. The breaks down. They surround this giant. Pepita carry the side through. It looks like he can. They've taken down Dendi. They've managed to trap up LeBron as well. Infamous will turn this game back just as quickly as Na'Vi were able to get hold of it. Pepita's Viper, now level 25. As he gets that triple kill, he's got the money for the Nullifier. And this, I mean, the whole game, we've sort of been shifting most of the focus towards this Morph, and I wouldn't be surprised if Na'Vi would have sort of tunnel visioned as well onto Minos. But now we're at a point where the Viper's the scarier of the two.
Yeah, I mean, they have to tunnel vision the Morpho. They have to throw everything on top of Minos, or he's just going to take control of the fight completely. But like the clutch situations there, the saves coming out from Schofield, the snowballs, yeah, and then having time for the Stinger to get those heals off, and the repel on a Pepita, and he does take the damage down because of that build that he's got.
It's a lot of punching, a lot of spinning. Pepita, the money pretty much for that butterfly if he wants to go all in.
Super back and forth game though.
Actually, I say that. Interesting. He picks up the Eagle song, and then he went back and sold it. So I wonder if he's considering something else.
Illusion.
I mean, obviously the butterflies. Maybe he considers MKB for himself. The Hex is going to be chosen by Pepita.
Okay. So Hex to catch the Void.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Hex, of course, absolutely game winning. If he gets a Hex onto the Void, there's not going to be much save at all from Na'Vi.
Yeah,
if he can catch Crystallize, that could be game over.
I mean, he already does a ridiculous amount of damage on the Viper anyway. So and this gives him the mana sustain for him to actually just be able to spam everything constantly.
What a game between these two teams, an incredibly back and forth one, and made ever so more exciting about the fact that there is just a best of one.
Yeah.
Top lane, Stinger, jumping forward, look at him was General with the Shadow Blade. Vision isn't there for Infamous, so General will be able to get out.
Yeah, he went downward thinking General would go back toward base, but General making the smart move. During that, Minos had a DD as well on the Morphling, so they were really looking to try to take some kind of fight.
I wouldn't be surprised if we sort of see Infamous wait a little bit, because they are just 1,000 gold away from having the Aghanims on Disruptor as well.
Yeah, they're going to be getting big items. Aghanims on Disruptor, Refresher on the Omni Knight.
Dire are scanning.
Right. Managed to find Vision onto General. They're going with the Snowball. General keeping the distance. He's going to go straight for the Shadowblade TP out. He's got the Vision, but can't quite get in time to cancel the DP. General will be able to get back to the safety of his teammates.
So we do see Doom and we see Void, and we're like, man, those two heroes late game, they pack quite a punch. They always are going to get scarier and scarier as the game progresses. But the same thing kind of goes if the Disruptor does get the Aghanim. That's one of those items that can completely change a game.
Yeah.
And 9k gold lead. It went from a like 12k gold lead to a 1k gold lead, back to that 9k gold lead for Infamous.
Oh, that's great.
Same with Experience, has just been all over the place.
And the thing is, as we've seen, you know, despite it being at the moment in favor of Infamous, it absolutely doesn't write NAVI off. We know that they can take a fight from behind. Of course, the difficulty goes up and up. So there we go. That's quite.
The fifth.
I'm a little surprised.
I'm actually surprised
would be a bit off. Only 5 since TI5.
I guess you don't really see Vipers get to that much gold. A lot of, like, that's an expensive item for a Viper.
I mean, it is true. We do not see Vipers get to this sort of stage of the game and be in such a position that Pepita is every sort of day. But there we have it. But as we sort of discussed, very, very quick blink out there, nearly getting touched upon by Infamous. He knows if he gets the blink hex off onto Crystallize at the start of the fight arguably is over. Like, that is such a big way for Infamous to kick things off, and his itemization, it's purely for that alone. I mean, maybe not necessarily the Void, but that's obviously going to be one of the higher priority targets
to start the fight. Start the fight 45. Yeah.
Because other than that, where's your initiation? Snowballs, there's nothing really sort of a wham bam, and that's your wham bam from Infamous that could lead to closing the game up in your favor.
Minos has gone for Shadow Blade now too, so he wants to try to get those catches on the sides and on the back. Overall, I'm really impressed with the warding game from Infamous, and just sure they bought the gem like earlier and they had an advantage, so they were able to clear out a lot of the wards, but I do really like the way that they've been keeping map control a lot of the times.
Adendi, has got the money for the MKB. That's what we've been seeing. Adendi silently has been farming away. It's getting to the point where it's pretty damn big. I believe you want to show a stat, don't you?
I was trying, yeah.
There you go, sir.
Oh, did it work?
What are you trying to show?
I was just trying to sell some support gold. So pretty even on both sides of the two supports, getting those boards coming out, but I do feel like Infamous has been having a little bit more of that vision advantage, even though they're versus a Beastmaster, which is pretty significant in these type of games where initiation is everything. Especially now, initiation has actually become the most important thing in this game.
Initiation in terms of play and in terms of timings. That Roshan, once again, it's got a few more minutes. That could be the point of the game where we really see both teams clash. I mean, as it is, NAVI are moving over to Infamous' half of the jungle.
Little Shadowblade, he's going to walk into Schofield though, who has the gem.
Once blink and notch each other. Top lane, quick blink out from Pepita. As catches Winds of General, trying to make us sort of initiation. Infamous will keep themselves away from NAVI, but NAVI is trying to sweep across this half of the map, get control of this area around Roshan in preparation for when it is once back up.
Yeah, map control is super important at this point. Not like, of course, the third Roshan, but also these double runes that come out are going to have a pretty big effect. It does go for the backtrack on the Void this time. I think that's understandable when you're playing versus a shotgun Morphling. Sure, the Chrono Sphere AoE is traditionally safer, but this one is the safe pick versus to not get bursted down.
Yeah.
And now he can actually maybe survive versus that Hex.
Yeah, he needs every bit of survivability he can get, especially with sort of after the BKB going for this fully offensive build and another fire into the completed Bloodthorn, which he's got the money for, but obviously at this stage of the game you are really starting to consider how much you want to sort of prioritize saving for that buyback. As one death without buyback could end the game. Both teams with a significant amount of pushing potential in bottom lane. Nos, see if he can get a catch with Axel. They do have Stinger.
Could try here with the Disruptor. They can.
They've got the jump in. They've got the setup. Static Storm's down. He's muted. He's getting first in. That's the really nice shot. 100 seconds and down. Quick plays there from Infamous. Dandy.
The Euros Disruptor is always one of the most... It's like uncounterable pretty much, because you just get caught in it, you're dead. Of course, it's the Euros from the Omni Knight, but once the Disruptor has that Blink Dagger, it's much easier to pull that off every single time.
Now Infamous, they really want to try and force out that buyback from the Void. They know that Navi's going to potentially struggle in a 4v5 without that Chronosphere from Crystallize.
Oh, definitely. They need the Chrono in this game. I think they could definitely just try to force that buyback. They don't want to lose a lot, because we do know, if you buy back, you don't get to have that gold penalty anymore.
There we go. To the high ground. Minos and Pepita starting to chip away. The protection is there at the moment for NAVI. Now the creeps come through. Look to refocus back onto the tier 3 tower. Crimson Guard slowing them down slightly, but Infamous the Crimson Guard as well. They pop it out, they turn towards Dendy. Dendy sort of on the front lines here. The Charge coming out. There's the Hex, quick limitating the force back, keeps Dendy at bay. NAVI will be able to protect the gyro. For the melee rank, there's going to be a different story. The melee rank is the one they will fall. NAVI being very resilient in the sense that they do not want to buy back on this void. They're protecting that buyback, but it will cost them the full and completed bottom and mid lane of racks, as Infamous will be able to take it away. NAVI do not expend the buyback, but they are now 2 full sets of racks down.
It's scary, right? Because if he buys back and goes in chronos, and then Infamous all just buy back, and they go into that fight again, then Navi's in a bad situation because Roche is back up, so they can just wait for that chrono and then buy back and go for that if they do get picked off. Now this is all about this. Roar comes out.
They've got a good way to start it potentially. Quick force and the sharp block there for the scope will make it very hard for NAVI to chase down. Into them. Buyback immediately from the Disruptor as Infamous know the importance of holding on to this fight for Peter. Tries to kite off this man. Will get the blink off. Blink dodges the nullifier from this faceless void. BKB's been popped by Crystallize and Dendy. There's the chrono. Do they have the damage? GA comes out, but of course Crystallize has already used the nullifier. It isn't there to take off the GA. They'll get the Doom down, but he's already more to full strength. He'll turn, start to punch back. Lil falling low on the Doom. The static storms out and down. The Brock doing the case to keep himself alive with the roll. They close together, blowing a target. Onto the bike, but it's just not enough. Peter just lives through it all. The Death Ward's down. They do get the Doom out onto the morphing. They're trying to chase him, but Infamous are doing a good job of keeping NAVI at bay. General finds the roll, moves him with the Necro Blitz. Off this on Dendy, tidying in. Looking straight for Stinger falling on, and they'll take it.
Buybacks are all coming out. Morphling buys back, so does Doom.
And that Doom did end up finishing off the Morphling, so that surprised Doom, that pick up of the refresh orb and instantly putting it down, so they didn't know that a second instance of the ult was there.
Radiant's middle
will allow NAVI to come out on top, but they're having to expend buybacks themselves. Lil gets back in.
And they're going to be able to try to look for
General.
Schofield here will go down.
That's the gem.
And Chronosphere's back online too, jumping it up again. I was thinking they're in there.
He was... And the buybacks come out immediately now. Everyone buying back on Infamous. They've got the extra 2 out now. They're looking to try and get into the pit of tower. They get it all. And now NAVI, they have to call GG. Both cores are down without buyback. Infamous will take the best of one.
That was pretty well played by Infamous, to be honest. I think Crystallize had a lot of weight on the shoulders for the void, but I think Crystallize also delivered. I think at the end there, he expected